I feel vindicated.
Against Detroit?
They won because they
you would
ran
use
the
the
ball.
term vindicated?
Yes. They finally ran the ball and they had results. Regardless of what's going on, those 46 men on that side of the ball are NFL football players. At the end of the day, so regardless of what went on, the Eagles' offensive line kicked some ass yesterday. And that's
so did the defensive line. I mean, oh, yeah. This is it.
Pretty seamless. Pretty seamless.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
It's like it never happened. Oh, boy. You know, here we are.
Oh, it happened. It happened yesterday. It happened.
Are you there?
You saw it.
What you talking, Alex? Huh?
You saw it. You saw it.
What happened? Yeah, I haven't changed, Joey. You're right.
The Birds kicked ass yesterday. That's what happened.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I barely saw it.
I turned that game off in the middle of the third quarter. I had no interest in that garbage.
The problem with
your buddy Dan Campbell should be fired today, along with his entire staff. That team is god awful.
Harry, I can't imagine wanting to fight a head coach, but that would be, I think, honestly, that would be the embodiment of being a Lions fan. Like, I'm surprised somebody didn't try to jump over that huge little wall there and charge the field like we've seen people do in baseball, right? Like, I freaking had it with this guy. I'm storming the field.
And then when I found out that dope Anthony Lynn is the offensive coordinator, I was really out on him. Like, no wonder they stink.
Come on.
and how many times did they had two successive drives where they had too many men on the field on defense.
Mm-hmm.
That team is just
it still didn't stop
a train wreck.
No, not at all. They haven't. Look, I don't know what you want to take from that game except for the fact that they didn't lose. I think they get credit for doing everything right.
Yeah.
But nothing is in a vacuum, right? Like nothing at all is in a vacuum here. This team has been dog shit for so many times this year that it's like, okay, now you need to show that you've learned. And how many times have we talked about this? 2 times prior, we've talked about them coming off of a victory and learning and growing from that victory, and they failed.
Yeah.
They failed. So this is a huge opportunity that they created. Sorry, Barrett.
I feel vindicated.
Against Detroit?
They won because they
ran the ball. You would use the term vindicated?
Yes. They finally ran the ball and they had results. Regardless of what's going on, those 46 men on that side of the ball are NFL football players. At the end of the day, so regardless of what went on, the Eagles' offensive line kicked some ass yesterday. And
so did the defensive line. I mean,
you realize how many guys were out for Detroit?
I'm talking about the offensive line whooped ass, dog. That's all I care about.
I'm saying, though, as far as how many guys on D, like, I'm not downplaying the victory. The fact that they beat them 48-0?
44-6.
I love it. I love it.
Hit the over.
Which was brutal, by the way. That should never have happened. But come on, let's do this here. That's a team. That's a winless team that was down starters, Barrett.
It doesn't matter.
But to be fair, though, I thought that winless team was going to beat the Eagles. So I thought
we're down starters. We're down
not nearly as much as Detroit was. Detroit was down 10 guys across the board. Come on,
we got about 10 guys out also.
Who? 10 guys? You have one defensive lineman who's out, and you have 2 offensive linemen who are out. Miles Sanders doesn't even count.
He does count. He's out. What are you talking about? He doesn't count.
They weren't using him.
They weren't using him.
Have a back over 70 yards. The leading rusher was the quarterback.
Yeah, which is a problem.
Which is always the case.
Which is a problem.
That's a weekly thing, though. He's the team leader.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they ran the ball consistently, kept their offense off the field. That's the game plan I'm looking. My glass will always be half full. I'm not going to let you guys rain on my parade today.
There's no parade.
There's no parade. It was Detroit. We don't have a parade.
Bro,
Okay?
I'd rather talk about the Chargers game than Detroit.
It doesn't matter who they are. They're NFL football players.
Are they really?
Really?
Yes. I don't know, man. I think Georgia could shut out
Detroit.
You
can't keep a straight face.
I think Georgia could actually hold the Lions to maybe 6 points.
Barrett can't even keep a straight face, man. Come on.
I'm not going to let you guys rain on my parade.
Come on.
What happened?
I knew I was going to laugh my way through it.
What happened to Deuce Staley? No wonder he's not here anymore.
You see how gray his beard got?
Oh,
wait a second. What involvement did he even have yesterday? Who should we be blaming for utter gross incompetence when it comes to that offense? Holy shit. What business did he have going for it on fourth down when you were down 17-0?
Yeah, I know. You got to take the field goal there.
And calling timeouts and everything.
I know.
That's your guy right there, man.
They're a disaster. Seriously.
Eagles bit their kneecaps.
Yeah, right.
They did. They did. Look, here's the thing, and this is where I think it's worth a conversation, even if it's for a couple of minutes or beyond. But to Barrett, and not to even the point, but to the mood, we know damn well, Harry, myself, and everybody else, we know damn well that if they needed a last-second field goal, if this were a Justin Tucker survive type game, we would be crushing them like it was a loss. The fact that they came out, and there were really only two scenarios ahead of time that we talked about, which was they lose, and this is rock bottom. This is worse than anything we've seen possibly since Kotite or beyond. But at the same time, if they won, it would be like, okay, you guys beat a winless team by a touchdown, 10 points, what have you. You really want a pat on the back. They went at it a third way, which was really leave nothing to criticize on the field. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a dog shit Detroit team. And they were down a ton of guys that start. And they were playing guys who were hurt. And I get it, everybody's hurt week 8. But look, if they won by 7, if they won by 10, they would be treated across the board in this city like they lost a football game. So they do deserve credit for having a methodical game plan that they stuck with and absolutely hammering.
It took till week 8.
Yeah. Harry,
it took till week 8. We've been screaming about this for 2 months.
It took till week 8, and it took until the Detroit Lions. I get it. I get all of that. I'm not saying otherwise.
Put it like this.
But I think it's worth a mention here that if they barely won, or even if they won by 13, or if they came from behind.
Right.
Put it like this. I knew halfway through the game that me and Seth were going to, say something. He was going to be, have the same attitude you two were going to have.
Right.
And he didn't actually. And then I knew when I would come on this show today, I was going to be fighting you guys tooth and nail, trying to get you guys to look at this glass half full. But no.
Right.
I knew what I was going
There's nothing.
For. So I even amped myself up. I was ready. I even watched half of Birds 365 also, just to see and feel what was going on.
Right.
And
here's the thing, though. Nothing's changed. I don't think it's a negative. We're not rating on your parade. We're not there's nothing negative. It's just that for me, nothing has changed.
Right.
Why
nothing
not? Has changed. Here's the thing. I'm not going to fall into what the worst thing you could possibly do in the NFL. And I'm surprised that people who are on this chat who talk football with us fall into this thing. But the worst thing you could do is say, oh, well, one team beat them this way, another team beat them another way. It's a week-to-week league of matchups. So nobody should ever be looking at what happened with Detroit against San Francisco or another team. It's always week to week. The Philadelphia Eagles couldn't afford to come in and take that team lightly. The Philadelphia Eagles couldn't afford to come in like the Rams or like San Francisco. These other teams that are just sleepwalking because it's Detroit. And the Eagles were like half a notch up.
Right. And to their credit, they didn't.
But I'm gonna
That's
tell you
my
this,
point.
Though.
Yeah, right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But
No. It's not just you, Bird. No, I love you, Birdman. You know that.
But look at this. Regardless of what's going on,
anybody
I knew I was going to have to come on the show, and I had to remind you guys. This team still loves their coach. They went out there and fought because you guys talked about them flowers and all that roots.
Wait.
and everything.
You were the one that indicated that a man that speaks of flowers and roots and fertilizer is not a real man. That was you.
Look at him changing the narrative so
that was
fast.
You. When I saw that headline, or I think McMullen tweeted it, that the Eagles players took it to heart the way the media attacked their head coach. I was thinking your face came up on my computer. The face of Barrett Brooks.
I'm telling you, man, there's something to it. You came in, honestly, you came in fully prepared to deflect your narrative from last week.
Yeah.
Trying to paint us like we're the bad guys. Wow. Look at that. I got to be honest. That's a hell of a strategy. You got 10 minutes out of it, too.
Guns blazing and everything, bro.
Wow.
And I picked them to win. I picked them to win, though.
Your boy Dan Campbell saw what Jim Harbaugh did on Saturday and said, "Hold my beer."
What happened?
What a disaster show.
Michigan, you're right. You know, if anybody saw the two, that would be a really interesting poll, which was the bigger perceived sabotage. Like, what the hell was Harbaugh? I just don't know what is going through Dan Campbell's mind. Are we sure that Dan Campbell is calling the offense and everything like that? Like,
no, he's not calling.
Are we sure? He don't call offense.
It was Anthony Lynn.
You didn't see him in
the former Chargers coach. That boob.
You know what? I saw him in the press box. I said, "Oh, no wonder, no wonder."
And who is that defensive coordinator? He had no idea what was going on yesterday.
Oh, that was.
They
former,
showed him.
Glenn. What is
Aaron Glenn?
Aaron Glenn. Yeah. Aaron Glenn,
okay.
Former DB for the Jets.
Yeah, he's about to be fired. I got news for you.
Right.
Alert Mrs. Glenn that she's going to be looking for a new house.
Right.
Bro, but hey,
wow.
Did you see?
There's one thing. There's one thing for switching a narrative. There's another thing is somebody on here now trying to create a new narrative about how now Detroit's a good team, right? Detroit's not that bad. Nobody in their mother, including mothers who are watching the show, said that. So stop.
No.
Just extinguish that fire nonsense right now.
They probably should have had 2 wins coming into this game, but they didn't.
Right.
And still, we know what the Eagles are with 2 wins coming into this game.
Right.
Not a good team. Nobody's propping up Detroit right now. Just stop.
Bro, I had a game plan going, though, bro. I knew what I was going to do, man. I knew what I was going to face. I was up against the trouble, and I made sure, man, that I met it squarely face to face. I made sure.
You look like Mel Tucker out here, man, pulling one out of your ass at the end of it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's Jim Harbaugh's obsession with that backup quarterback.
Yeah.
To inject him into that game, and they fumbled the ball.
Ridiculous. Man, what was he thinking about, man?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. He had the game won at in the third, and all of a sudden, you know, you could just feel the tides just turn, and Michigan State turned it on. Man, that back they got is I didn't know he was there. I knew he was
Kenneth
good, but
Walker
the
third.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he's the leader in the clubhouse right now for the Heisman.
Right.
And some shops.
After that game,
I
could see it.
Yep.
We had over 200 yards.
195, I think.
Absolutely.
And he's gone for over 200 this season already. He's got well over 1,000 yards. I think he's got 1,100 and some yards rushing.
Against that defense was it was
insanity.
That was a great game. Great game. Then what was the late night game?
Penn State.
Penn State,
They had a big
but they covered
touchdown. Yeah, I know.
They covered that it was 18, 19, 20. I mean, they covered all of that. Yeah, I mean, it was 20 at one point before kick, Harry.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I mean. Like, I give them credit that they cover. I did not think they would cover that line by any means. I thought it was a bunch of sweats. Yesterday was a weird day, too. Bunch of sweats.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday was my first losing day. I went 2-3 yesterday.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't understand why he's such a.
We had a great day on the Odd Show.
They want him to be. They want him to be the head coach of USC. He's a horrible coach, man. He's can just
a great recruiter. He's a great recruiter.
I mean, they can be a recruiting coordinator or something.
Yeah,
he sucks as a coach, man.
You're talking about James Franklin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, how does he go about that?
I don't know. Is he out? Is there anything more that's come from this weekend?
Now, somebody I talked to who's a big Penn State honk is saying that, you know, things have cooled there, and it may be just that Franklin is trying to get the board or whatever to improve the facilities that he works with.
You could put it on the board. Yes. Is that what it is?
Bud Harrelson. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because apparently their facilities are way subpar versus the other big teams in the Big Ten. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, James.
Well, that's why Jimbo Fisher, one of the reasons why he left to go to Texas A&M.
Well, that's fine. I don't think A&M is thriving as a result. Right?
No, they're not.
That's the way you can recruit these days. You got bad facilities, you can't recruit.
Yeah.
And Penn State, though, is somebody that, like, you should be able to compete and bring people in from a history already established, and you're not going up against a ton of competition in conference and region.
Right.
So
still, though,
I'm not saying Barrett. I'm not saying anybody can do it. I'm just saying that if you find somebody competent to replace James Franklin, it shouldn't be that difficult to pick up what he has already established and what Paterno did before that. Really,
the name alone. Yeah, you're right. The name alone, but still,
should help.
Man,
should help.
It helps, but these days, man, I mean, you go to some of these facilities, like you go to Texas, you go to Oregon, you go to some of these facilities, man. It's 100 times better than NFL facilities. Like, half the bottom level facilities are way better than the NovaCare system. The NovaCare system really sucks compared to a high schools. Man, it's crazy. I mean, not high school, but colleges.
Yeah.
It's crazy how they look, man. Like each kid has their big screen TV inside their locker. I mean, it's crazy how these facilities are these days.
And I heard that it's not a question of if, but when the Temple coach gets whacked.
What?
They are no longer competitive.
Yeah, that I mean,
they got beat 49-7 by UCF, and the 7 was a garbage touchdown at the end of the game with the backup quarterback.
Oh, I hate to do it to him.
Terrible. That's 2 straight weeks.
Wow, it's got to be out now, huh?
Yeah.
He just can't recruit. He didn't know how to recruit this area, man. He's used to recruiting in the Midwest.
It takes a certain personality and persona to succeed there. You got to be energetic and fired up, like Matt Rule. Like Al Golden, those guys, and even Nick Collins that went to Georgia Tech, they had an energy about them. This guy's got none. He's like, you wouldn't, if you were in a room with him, you wouldn't even know who he is. Like you wouldn't say, oh, that guy's a head football coach. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't command the room at all. You need like a Tomlin type of personality down there, man. Energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to, because there's so much going against you.
Well, he's not that. He's not a rah-rah guy at all.
No, not at all.
When I did the game, I interviewed him.
Yeah.
He wasn't a rah-rah guy. You could tell that.
Yeah.
He's got, he's into, X's and O's, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So, real quick, before we break for this first segment, let me ask you guys this. And for all of the just blasé that I think came off with it, with this whole thing with the Lions, right? And I don't know how people are extracting anything that's lasting until you see it, right? It's one thing to say, yes, that's great. It's another thing to say, okay, this is going to be it for the rest of the year. Just to look at the game itself, I didn't have any issue. Did either of you have any issue? And again, we're talking about a blowout, but that's fine. But we could look at stuff if there was a problem or something that was maybe not up to par like everything else or mostly everything else. There really didn't seem to be even Jalen Hurts throwing the football, but maybe that's something that one or both of you looked at. For me, it wasn't a problem, and maybe it was also just the fact that he wasn't asked to make a ton of throws. But
you have 13 attempts?
14.
14, okay. 9 for 14.
I like it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all.
No, I mean, that's like the Bridgewater, the reduced Bridgewater mentality, which is, get your guy 22 to 25.
That's the Ben Roethlisberger mentality. The first Super Bowl we had, we weren't asking Ben to win games for us like they're asking Hurts to win games. That's why I was saying the narrative, it wasn't fair to just put that all on this young quarterback. People are saying, oh, we've seen enough of him. I haven't seen enough of him yet because he hasn't had the opportunity to not have the entire weight of the team put on his back.
Yeah. I just want to know how long it took until Jeffrey Lurie called Nick Sirianni and asked him why he ran the ball so damn much.
I'm sure there was a note.
That Tuesday meetings?
There was a note.
In
his locker when he came back, a pink slip.
Yeah.
That was a bittersweet 44-6 win for the owner. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you thinking? No, but here's the thing, though. As far as these guys are now throwing a lot, right? Like Ben threw 35, 36 times yesterday.
They scored 15 points.
Well, no, look, that game in its own right was very interesting. And from a defensive struggle,
man, that was crazy.
Brutal. Absolutely. Watching Baker, and Baker was throwing too much as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that there is a game plan to where you can look at guys like Bridgewater, like Mayfield. You can look at guys who are on winning teams or can be on winning teams, depending on circumstance, and say that's like Mac Jones, right? You know, how much did Mac throw ultimately yesterday? He was never really asked. He threw a shit ton, 35 times. Mm-hmm. But of those throws, there never really was, you know, they went down, but they never asked him. And that's the problem that I have with the Chargers defense that maybe Jalen Hurts can pick up here this week. They never really made Mac Jones make or break that game with a throw.
No, you can run on the Chargers.
You can. And they did, but it wasn't like they did to the extent of the Eagles, 46 or so times. Point being is that Jones threw for 35 times and was never really asked to make a make or break throw.
Right.
And if you're in that situation with Jalen Hurts, I would much rather default to a guy like Hurts because he can run, he can move, he can do other things, and he's not being asked to win a game single-handedly.
Well, he is asked. That's the problem. He's asked too many times this year to win a
coming
game
into it, yes.
Yeah. But last week's game, this last game he had, you know, I enjoyed the fact that he ran only because he wanted to run, not because he had to run. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the shoulder weight of the entire offense in his hands. He just handed the ball off. You know, those are things, you know, it should be like that every week. And not saying you can run the ball like that every week, you know, 40 times. You're not going to get that. You know, that's something that just doesn't happen in the NFL. It happened with the Eagles organization.
There was also a lot of
Ravens and other. Yeah,
the fourth quarter was just handing the ball off to Gainwell because and that padded the numbers.
Right.
I mean, Minshew.
Granted, I think he had 10 carries, right, Harry?
Yep. Yeah, and they were all, I think, in the fourth quarter.
Yep. Yeah. But it's going to be like tonight's game. You look at tonight's game. You know, I saw Joey B say, yeah. He said pound the Chiefs. I don't think so because you know they're getting some players back with the Giants. They might get their running back today.
Yeah, it's a big line, man. It dropped to 9 at one point. It moved back up through 10, which is not the rarest, but still.
So why is it doing that? Because they're figuring out people are coming back?
Because I think there was a concern that Mahomes wouldn't play because of the head injury.
Oh, okay.
And I think Mahomes playing has pushed people back up to pounding Kansas City because they come off a brutal loss and Mahomes is healthy. But you're right. The Giants are in a sneaky spot. They're getting 10.5 points on the road. It's hard. Like we saw a couple of blowouts yesterday, but that's really it. Like it's hard to put it on a team and really work. Even Houston came back and worked in a nice plus 28 in-game cover. But yeah, you like the Giants, Barrett?
No, I'm just saying they got a couple people coming back. Like, you know, they're starting their rookie wide receiver. He's back. He's practicing now. They might get their running back now. Saquon Barkley might be practicing this week. He might play. Kenny Golladay might be coming back this game as well. You know, that's
yeah. They may not have Tony, right?
Well, I think he starts practicing this week.
He's questionable, I know, tonight, but yes, he's up in the air. But they could have. Point is, they could have him now too to the mix.
Right.
Chiefs have failed to cover 8 of their last 9 games at home.
Yep,
they are a terrible cover at home. They're not a great cover in the first month and a half of the season either, right, Harry?
That's correct. How about what Dallas did last night? I mean, they lost the turnover battle by 2. Like they were -2 in turnovers. They committed 11 penalties for almost 100 yards. They missed a field goal. They got their backup quarterback in, and they win on the road. How did they do it?
Team, man.
Their defense held Minnesota to 1 for 13 of third down conversions.
What?
1 for 13.
Everybody was talking about their defense. I kept telling people, man, that defense, man, the way they drafted and the way they put their defense together, I like what they're doing, man. I hate to do it to myself, man. And I gave Ray one yesterday. I gave Ray.
Did you?
You said I hate to do it?
Ray and Mike. I said I hate to do it. I hate to do it to you guys, but
yes.
Impressive.
Yes.
I hate
need
to
audio.
do it to you guys.
We
but
need-
yeah,
Derrick Henry being done at the moment. But yeah, as far as two things yesterday, and then I see on the stream, we have to get to Birdman had an interesting comment or question, I think, more so about Devontae Smith. And we really need to have a mid-season to avoid a mid-season crisis, I think, about Devontae. Also, we have to look at something with this week with the Chargers that came out of that game that could help the Eagles. But you mentioned, Harry, Cooper Rush. It was the not Color Rush, but
Right.
Cooper Rush game last night. How about this? And this was a crazy set of circumstances, and I'll tell you about that from a betting standpoint, but also to watch, and I have to be completely honest, I did not think this was the case. To watch Tom Brady struggle as he did the first half, Jameis Winston go down, Trevor Siemian to not only keep his team in the game, but extend the lead.
Right.
And then when Brady wakes up, because you know that's inevitable, Brady's going to wake up, Trevor Siemian leads that offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then the picks. How about this? So I have the Colts or the Saints +5 earlier in the week. And then in game, when it looked like Brady was just dust and struggling, I took the Saints again -3. I'm dead to rights because they're up by 2 and Tampa has one more shot. And if they don't get anything, then New Orleans is going to run the football out. How about that pick 6, baby?
Unbelievable. Absolutely incredible.
And here's the thing. It's karma instant, although it doesn't work like that. But anyway, because at the end of the first half, I had over 23.5 points. So I get a late touchdown from New Orleans to put it at 23. All I need is that extra point to go through, and I hit the over ticket, and he misses it. Same game, right? Think about that. That's betting for you in a nutshell. Same game. I get bit in the ass by a ridiculous missed kick, and then at the end, an unnecessary pick 6 that should never have happened. He should have just gone down, but I love it.
I'll tell you. There was a bunch of missed extra points and field goals yesterday.
Do you have the numbers?
No, I can
be interested to see that.
Yeah, that would take me a little time. I'll have it. I'll have it at some point tomorrow.
Now I have a ready to go tonight. I have a 4-pick 7-point teaser that's going to include tonight's football game. So you can still get the Rams minus. How are the Rams still on the board right now with Derrick Henry? Is Henry even going to play?
7? Was it 7?
Yeah, it's at 7.
Yeah.
But how does Derrick Henry go from having an MRI today, right, to determine if it's a season-ending foot injury to being out there playing next week?
No way.
No?
No. Who is their other running back?
There is no other.
No, I know there's no other that approaches his skill level,
right.
but I'm saying who's the guy now? Do they go out and make a move? Does Howie trade?
Well, the
Howard?
problem is Miles Sanders is out. Wouldn't that be the perfect time to trade him, Harry?
It would, yeah. Because they're not going to re-sign him.
No,
they're not going to re-sign him. You get a far better return from Sanders' deal than you would Jordan Howard.
The only thing is he can't play to week 11.
And I don't think
he's
can
on
you
IR.
be traded if you're on the short-term IR?
I don't know if you can.
You can in Madden. All right, we'll take a quick one here. I couldn't help it. We'll take a quick one here. Hit that thumbs up button. You're hanging with us. Make sure you subscribe to the JAKIB Media YouTube page, Birds 365 before us, Dan's crazy, awesome football show after us, and then right here in the middle.